August 10th, 2026. One day, 16 posts. That does not sound like a lot. It is not a lot. And yet, somehow, inside those 16 posts, Elon Musk claims Starlink might carry 90% of the entire internet, put a satellite dish on a robotaxi, judged an AI art contest about a mathematician drinking from a donut, and then in one 17-minute window in the afternoon, personally weighed in on World War II, the Catholic Church, a streamer's most controversial clip, and whether Michael Dell is happy. I had to check the timestamps twice, 17 minutes. Welcome back to the X-Ultimate Fire Hose, the show where I read one man's timeline so you don't have to. Quick favor before we dive in, if you want more of this, tell me in the comments who or what to cover next. I read every single one and it genuinely steers the show. Subscribe on YouTube so tomorrow's episode finds you. Hit the like button so the algorithm learns your beautiful taste. Follow DGTL Dreamscapes on X and send this to one friend who still calls the platform Twitter. All right, let's go. Our day begins at 5 in the morning because of course it does. While you were asleep, Elon was posting infrastructure predictions. Quote, Starlink may end up doing more than 90% of IP traffic, even if the competition multiplies their bandwidth by 10. 90% of the internet. That is not a market share goal. That is a supervillain monologue. Somewhere a telecom executive read that over morning coffee and quietly started updating their resume. 4,600 likes, nearly 500,000 views, and one man whispering, all of it. I want all of it. And here's the thing. He was not exactly bluffing because the receipts kept coming all day. He reposted Doge designers' breaking news that Lufthansa just released pictures of Starlink being installed on its aircraft. Actual photos of a technician kneeling on top of an Airbus A320neo like he's fixing the satellite dish on his mom's roof. The first one enters service August 19th. Your transatlantic flight is about to have better internet than your apartment. Then, that evening, Tesla's robotaxi account posted the first cybercab with Starlink integration, this golden sci-fi looking thing parked in front of a row of flags. And Elon replied, quote, you will be able to watch live sports in 4K or movies or games or productivity. Merely 17,000 likes, 2.7 million views. Sir, it's a taxi. You are describing a taxi. A taxi where the Wi-Fi is beamed from space so you can watch the game during your 11-minute ride to the airport. Honestly? Fine. I'm in. 20 minutes past 6 in the morning, still basically dark out, and Elon finds a chart he likes. The account XFreeze posted that Grok 4.5 just ranked number 1 on Design Arena for daily usage, measuring the users actually interacting with apps built by each model. With the caption, it's not just winning benchmarks, it's winning users. Elon's reply, at 6:24 in the morning, yes, a one-word reply. 8.1 million views. 8 million human beings looked at the word yes, a word you can get anywhere for free, and nearly 36,000 of them liked it. That is the power of owning the platform, folks. I post a full documentary and get 4 likes. This man posts a common English affirmation and outperforms cable news. 6 minutes later, he elaborated, Grok Imagine is focused on professional usefulness, fun for consumers, and overall ease of use, which is corporate speak for please stop making it generate anime girlfriends. 5 million views. And the victory lap continued after dinner. A researcher tested Grok Imagine 2.0 against other image models with the prompt, a mathematician drinking from an object of genus 1. That's topology speak for a donut shape. The joke being a proper A, I should draw a mug, because to a topologist, a mug and a donut are the same object. ChatGPT's version just drank from a donut. Straight up sipped the pastry. Grok drew the mug. Elon's review, Grok, FTW. 2 million views for a man nibbling a donut in a tweet-adjacent office. This is the AI race, everyone. Trillions of dollars on the line. Donut science. Okay, deep breath. It's 2 in the afternoon, and the timeline is about to hit escape velocity. The warm-up. Elon reposts a long essay from a Polish account arguing that Hitler's socialism was not just economic policy. It was the cause of the war, complete with a 1939 map of the fourth partition of Poland. Swastika on one side, hammer and sickle on the other. Nearly 1 million views. An 80-year-old historical debate, the kind entire university departments spend careers on, now being litigated in quote tweets. Hold that thought, because it is about to get so much faster. 2:48 in the afternoon, Elon replies, super funny, with 2 crying laughing emojis to a Gad Saad article whose title I am simply not going to say out loud. It's on screen, you can read it yourself. I am not getting demonetized in minute 6 of this episode. 5.7 million views. 250 90 seconds later, an account called Resist the Mainstream posts a clip of streamer Hassan Piker captioned with a quote about destroying the white race. Elon replies, he means what he says. That reply, one sentence, no context, no follow-up, did 103,000 likes, 20,000 reposts, and 6.1 million views. The single biggest post of the entire day was him reacting to somebody else's clip. Let that sink in. 2:51, 60 seconds after that, a researcher named Kevin Bass posts, Hitler was a socialist. Elon's reply, socialist or Hitler? Not socialist or like Hitler. Not socialism leads to Hitler. Socialist are Hitler. All of them. Every socialist collectively is one specific Austrian man. 37,500 likes. Grammar, deceased. Somewhere a room full of historians with actual documents felt a disturbance in the force. 3,000 replies. And I assume every single one of them is on fire. Then a 14-minute cool down, hydration, presumably, and at 3:05 he's back. Wow, he says on a post claiming the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops gets over 80% of its revenue from government refugee resettlement grants. 33,000 likes for, wow, a one-word reaction outperforming every newspaper editorial written that day. And then, 30 seconds later, the palate cleanser, Michael Dell. Yes, Dell Computers Michael Dell posts, if you're curious and love to learn, there has never been a better time to be alive. And Elon, fresh off declaring an entire economic ideology to be one specific historical dictator, replies, true. 27,000 likes, from socialist or Hitler to wholesome LinkedIn energy in 14 minutes. This man's timeline has a wider emotional range than most prestige television. The final post of the day drops late at night because sleep is for competitors. The New York Post ran a headline claiming newly released texts show Fauci privately warned of a miscarriage risk linked to the COVID vaccine while publicly saying there were no issues. Elon quote tweeted it with, this really happened. 46,500 likes, 8,000 reposts, 2.1 million views. Now, I am not the guy who rules on what Fauci's text messages did or did not say. I'm a podcast host with a fog machine. What I can tell you is that this really happened is doing incredible work as a caption. It is the exact same energy as your uncle forwarding you a screenshot with the words, makes you think. No analysis, no follow-up, just vibes in a headline. 2 million people saw it. That is the news cycle now. One man, one screenshot, one shrug. Now, in between all of that, the timeline had a softer side, a repost economy. Little glimpses of what this feed looks like when it is not actively on fire. He reposted a clip of NVIDIA's Jensen Huang telling the story of how Elon became NVIDIA's first customer for its AI supercomputer back in 2016. Quote, when I announced this thing, nobody wanted to buy it. Not one purchase order, except for Elon. Jensen says he personally boxed the thing up. And look credit where it's due. Buying the world's first AI supercomputer when nobody else wanted one is the greatest bought the dip story in tech history. He also reposted Nikita Beer, the X product guy, explaining that the hardest part of hiring leaders for X is finding someone who is a great voice on the platform and can also handle, quote, trench warfare to run a website. The job listing says must sweat the details of the user experience, but the vibe says must survive the 16 posts you just watched me describe. And he reposted a thread from Arthur McWaters pointing out that San Francisco now spends over $1 billion a year on homelessness, a 5-fold increase in 5 years, while the homeless population grew past 19,000 anyway. 500,000 views. Somewhere in that chart is a whole other documentary. Different show, different fog machine. So that was August 10th, one single day. Starlink claiming the internet, a golden robotaxi with space Wi-Fi, a donut-drinking mathematician, and a 17-minute stretch where one man speed ran an entire semester of 20th century history in one-word replies. And the biggest number of the day, 6.1 million views, went to, he means what he says, not a rocket, not a product, a reaction to somebody else's clip. You cannot make this up. And the beautiful thing is, I don't have to. If this show saved you from doom scrolling all of that yourself, do me a solid. Subscribe on YouTube so tomorrow's chaos finds you automatically. Hit like genuinely. Likes and comments are the only language the algorithm speaks, and they tune your feed, not mine. Follow DGTL Dreamscapes on X for the clips. Share this with the one friend who brings up socialism at parties, you know exactly who I mean, and drop a comment telling me who to cover next, because I read everything, every single comment. See you tomorrow, because yes, This happens every single day.